Ted Lasso has probably one of the shortest sapphic love stories, and a toxic one at that. Today, I want to talk about why the relationship just hasn't sat right with me. Now, for a bit of context, Ted Lasso is on its third season. It's been running for 3 seasons on Apple TV. Now, Keeley, one half of this couple, she's been a main character since the get-go. She's a very loving, kind-hearted person.
Keeley, you're adorable.
She's also been in a long-term relationship with Roy Kent, who is also a main character on the show, who's been around since season 1. So they've been in a relationship since season 1. They did break up, I believe, at the end of season 2.
It still hurts. I used to be a happy person.
And obviously, like I mentioned, we're in season 3 now, which is where we get introduced to Jack.
This is Jack Danvers.
Hello.
Now, Jack has had a total of 4 episodes in the season, and I believe that's all she's gonna have. We first meet Jack in episode 4, I believe. Now, this is our first meeting. Both Jack and Keeley first meet, and there is a lot of chemistry. There's a lot of sparks. It's great to look at. I got excited. I was here for it. I was here for the potential. Jump over to episode 5. They hook up. We get our first hookup. They're together. Chemistry is amazing. I'm loving it, right? I did do a video on it, and I was super excited for the potential of these two. They don't appear in episode 6. Jump over to episode 7, and this is where things start to get a bit rocky already, right? We're in the second episode of their relationship, and we have this whole story of Jack love bombing Keeley.
She's love-whatting me?
Love bombing.
Which is just a messy situation as well. She destroys a book, like a first edition book, which is just insane.
I can get very jealous and I hate the idea of you regifting that.
Red flags.
Anyway, whatever. Jump over to episode 8, the 4th episode that Jack is in, and they've broken up.
I think our break is actually an up.
And for an awful reason. There has been a hacking with celebrities and a sexual video of Keeley's has been leaked because she sent it to someone who did get hacked.
Don't tell me your password was password, Jamie.
To be fair, I did think I'd fallen because I spelt it with 2 S's.
Obviously, Keeley's done no wrong in making the video, in sending the video. She didn't release the video. She's not in any wrong at all. But Jack takes it very badly and is gone into full PR mode and is like, you need to fix this. And she gets her PR team to draft up statements for Keeley to release.
Allow me to first offer my sincere apologies. I'm beyond embarrassed, and I should have never made this video in the first place.
It's just a bad PR statement. Not good. On top of that, Keeley and Jack were supposed to go to this polo event, and Keeley was going to meet, I think, her uncle, her fake uncle or whatever.
Uncle Bernie is a family friend.
But then after this whole fiasco happened, Jack cancelled them going to that event.
After the whole thing, I thought you wouldn't want to be around a bunch of press and cameras.
And instead took her mini golfing. It looks like a cute date, but it's just her taking Keeley away from anyone that she might know, which is just shitty. But they do run into one of Jack's old, I believe, college friends. And Jack refers to Keeley as her friend.
And this is my friend, Keeley Jones.
Not her girlfriend or her partner or anything like that. She's clearly embarrassed by Keeley, and that is heartbreaking. Anyway, to wrap up the whole episode, Jack's like, you need to fix this. And she keeps on playing off these awful things, the really bad PR statement. Keeley's like, what was with that? And Jack was like, oh, yeah, I know, it was gross.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I called my dad for advice and his lawyers got involved.
She plays it off as it's not her fault, which is a common theme moving forward. So they break up. It's gross. In the episodes following, we get text messages from Jack, which is even worse. I'm only assuming Jack wasn't as bad. I mean, she was bad, don't get me wrong, but I feel like Jodie gave her something more than what the character is on paper. And without Jodie acting as her, she's so much worse on paper. Now, this most recent episode really tipped me over the edge, and I was really heartbroken by it because Jax essentially pulled her money, her investment out of Keeley's business, her PR business, and is essentially shutting her down. And she doesn't even call Keeley or discuss that with her. Keeley finds out because the office is being packed up, and Barbara, love Barbara by the way, tells her, and you know, they have a sweet moment. But Jack doesn't even reach out to Keeley. We get a text message within the episode where Jack again is like playing it off like it's not her fault. Like, oh, sorry, this is shitty. I couldn't do anything about it. Like, fuck off. That's not true. One, even if it was true, you still could have called her and like given her a heads up. Like, it's just, yeah, an awful situation. I hated how the whole relationship played out. But I have so many conflicting feelings because one of my biggest gripes is like, obviously this character, like Keeley is bisexual. We've known this for a long time. We haven't really been able to explore it because, like I've mentioned, she's been in a long-term relationship with Roy. So she's obviously been in a committed monogamous relationship. We haven't been able to explore her bisexuality. She is now single this season, and they've brought in Jack as a love interest, and this whole story is just gross. But like, I feel like as a Ted Lasso fan, someone that's watched the show, we know Roy and Keeley are endgame. I feel like that's a given.
You are, and always will be, Keeley fucking Jones.
There just needed to be some sort of arc, some sort of storyline to keep them interesting. And obviously that's where Jack has come to play. I am just so conflicted because on one hand, this is the only sapphic relationship we've had on the show. Keeley has been bi from the start, right? But we've not had any other sapphic characters on the show. And even up until season 3, they've not dived into queer storylines at all. They've got I would say it actually really good coming out storyline in season 3 with one of the soccer players. But regardless, we've not had another sapphic character until Jack. And then this is how they portray the only like other sapphic character on the show. It's just shitty, right? Because there's no other representation on the show that can like make up for that shitty representation. On the flip side, the character of Jack could have been played by a guy and it would have made sense.
You're Jack.
We all thought you were a man.
It's not like the character has been made to be shitty representation, right? Like the character of Jack is serving the Roy and Keeley storyline. So I get it from that point of view, but it's just frustrating that that's the only sapphic representation on this show. We've got the backstory out of the way. I was really curious how like a lot of you guys were thinking as well. I tweeted out, and these are some of the replies that I got from iCarol. We've got feel like I knew what I was getting myself into when they added Jack. Just a fling to keep Roy and Keeley separated for a while. But I am completely disappointed at how they scripted their split. They did not need to make her the way they did. Which, look, I think am pretty on board with this. Like, we knew what the whole deal was with Jack, but it sucks at how it was done with a sapphic character. Another one is it's so lame. I can't think of a story for why it was there other than to delay Keeley picking between Roy and Jamie at the end of the season, which, yeah, I think that was the entire reasoning behind it, was to add, something to the Roy and Keeley relationship, which, yeah. I also saw this tweet, which I thought was funny, from Rowan Ellis, who is another YouTuber. You should go check out her videos if you haven't yet. But she says, damn, can't believe Ted Lasso writers decided to give the enemies to friends to lovers gay romance to Roy and Jamie and not their actual queer characters. Which is kind of funny because, look, I would totally ship Roy and Jamie. But yeah, I would also have liked an enemies to friends to lovers with an actual queer relationship. I wanted to highlight some articles and stuff that I've been reading as well, because I have been trying to get an understanding of how the fandom and the audience thinks about this relationship. And we've got an article here from Autostraddle, and this sort of last paragraph here was really interesting. Something felt uncomfortably familiar about this dynamic playing itself out in an episode where Roy almost and Jamie fully checked in with Keeley to offer support after learning of the leak. I don't think ex-boyfriend is the source of a comfort in an episode where the current girlfriend is the bad guy is an official TV trope, but I'm pretty sure I've seen this film before and I didn't like the ending. This felt like a 2006 lesbian storyline, not a 2023 storyline. I also wanted to point out this article. So Vulture interviewed Jodie, who plays Jack, about her character and stuff like that. And I wanted to highlight this answer that Jodie gave. She says, the connection they had was very real. I think they were falling in love big time. And I imagine that Jack will continue to walk through her life with a lot of regret and will hopefully begin to unpack what was going on for her in that moment, and that she couldn't see past this very patriarchal, shaming point of view to be the support to this woman she was falling in love with.
Fuck the patriarchy!
Like I mentioned, I feel like a lot of credit needs to go to Jodie for elevating Jack more than was on paper. I don't know if she actually knew the further conversations that Jack was having with Keeley via these texts. I just can't imagine. I don't know. I can't imagine that Jodie sees Jack that way, that the writers almost portray Jack. I think there's two versions of Jack that is being like portrayed. It's a weird situation and I don't entirely feel happy with it, but I also understand it to a point. Yeah. I would love to know your thoughts about this whole relationship and situation in the comments below. Yeah, let me know what you think of the Jack and Keeley relationship. But if you want a bit of a throwback to an also very toxic relationship, I went on a bit of a spiel about Arizona and Lauren from Grey's Anatomy way back in season 9. If you want to go check that one out, check it out here. Otherwise, I see you all in my next video. Okay, bye.